Hello class. I will just give you a new assignment. Includes the practices of layers, resizing, cropping. Those are the tools that you practiced last week through those tutorials on website. And some of you have done all of them, some of you are not there yet. So I will just summarize it really quick and then I will show you how to do the assignment. So for this assignment, which is a country flyer for Italy, it's kind of a, advertisement. So we're going to prepare this picture together. All the pictures that you will need are already in your Google Classroom. You can download them to your computer. And to download, I hope you remember, you just go ahead and open the picture and right click on it and save image as. And then you're going to save it to wherever you would like to save on your computer. The best thing is creating a separate folder on your desktop and put it there, put all those pictures there. But it's up to you. It doesn't really matter for me where you save your pictures. I only need this flyer submitted to your Google Classroom at the end of the assignment. And also, together with this one, I want you to go ahead and create another flyer for another country of your choice. You're going to get the pictures from pexels.com as we did for an Amato video. Those are great pictures and they also are free. So we're going to create this one. To open all of the files on your Photoshop, you just need to either you go to File menu, Open, and then go ahead and pick the files that you need. So it's on my desktop. I save everything on the layers layer folder. So 5 of them. I will just open those. As you see, all pictures are opened in different tabs. I want to complete this assignment by putting them all into one layer, but into different, all into one file, but into different layers. So as you see, there's one layer here. This one is called background layer. Well, actually for every picture, if you click on every picture, it's called background layer. That's the one initial layer on each file. You can just click here to unlock this background layer and it'll just turn to a regular layer and it's going to be the layer 0. So let's say we want put this one into the other picture and then make it the second layer. So all I need is just move this picture, well, this is Mac, sorry. On PC, you can just drag this picture, hold down the key, and drag it over the other picture. It's going to do that, but for Macs, you need to do this. You need to unlock this layer, and then move this one on top of the other layer. So here, the first layer, layer 0, and then layer 1. So all you need is just repeat this step for each of them. So I will need to separate this. I will need to separate this panels to see both of them. Like all I need is just to see these two in the at the same time, and unlock the layer and move it to my working file. So I'll do this for all of those. I want to separate. I want to drag this layer over my working file, and then the last one, but not the least one. So here you go. Oh, sorry. I keep thinking that I'm working at PC. For PCs, you just drag this picture right here. That would still work. But for this method works for both of those, Mac and PC. So I have all my layers in this file. So if you just hide them you can only see the background layer. This is what I call them background because I want to use it background as background of my flyer. That's all. Otherwise, there's no like specific name for that. It's layer 0 only. So now you're gonna need to resize these images. So if you remember from your last week's tutorial to resize an image on Photoshop, you could just go ahead and pick, edit menu and choose transform or free transform. Or if you are on Mac, pick Command T, or if you are on PC, Control T. It works. So when you see these little squares around your image, you can go ahead and resize. So I want to make it very small so that I'm just going to tile 4 pictures right here. When you're happy with the size, you can just press Enter to leave it. So and then go ahead and open the other and resize that picture as well. Okay, let's just go ahead and resize that too. So Photoshop has like smart alignment tools that lets you to align your pictures. If you see, I want to make sure that they are in the same size, so they are in the same height now. I want to move this one right here. They're in the same width as well. So I'm happy with that size as well. Let's move on to the third one, and I'm going to make that one smaller. Remember, again, I'm telling you, if you want to resize, Control T for PC, Command T for Mac computers. So, and the fourth one is here, and then let me do the last one. Oops, press Enter to get rid of that. So I'll just, as you see, this one makes this eye icon makes the layers visible or invisible. They are there. So let me just make this one also the same height with this, same width with all of those. And you can also arrange the space, the gap in between, like equally as well. It really cool. Lets you to, let's see, it measures for you, and when it is the same, when it is equal, it snaps. Here we go. I think that's really cool. Alright, so all I want, well, I like this tiling, but as you see, the pictures are colorful and the background is very busy, so it's hard to see. So in this kind of design, usually we use another asset to make the background a little less busy, maybe a little darker and a little fade. So those icons in front should pop up. So for that, I want you to use rectangle tool. This one you haven't practiced last week, so I just want you to use rectangle tool once. For these tools, by the way, if you don't see the rectangle shape here, it doesn't mean that it's not there, okay? If you just go ahead and hold down the key and wait a little bit, all those options are going to be here. Let's say if I just used line tool before for another project, it's going to show up line will show up there. So you won't see the rectangle. All you need is just click on it, hold it, and you will see all other options and move to rectangle tool. It's the same for all of the other tools here. You want to see the other options, you just go ahead and hold down the key and you will see all other options here. We're going to see all of them. For this one, you're going to draw this rectangle. I want you to cover all this area with the rectangle. When you're drawing the rectangle, please make sure that where you start is one corner, where you stop is another corner of the rectangle. If you just start and leave and this try to decide which way to go, it's gonna create the rectangle already, so you're gonna mess up a lot if you just keep clicking. So I would suggest make sure that you know, just where you're gonna start and where you're gonna stop, and then start and never leave the mouse until you finish the rectangle. So let me delete these. Oops. So my rectangle is here. So we want to put this rectangle behind the other 4 icons. So if you remember how we locate the layers, so whichever is on top of the layer stack means it's front of the picture. So if you put this one down here, or you know, if as you just put it like one layer down, you will see the others will pop up because they are on top of this rectangle layer, and that means they are in front of the rectangle layer. So we want these also in front of rectangle layer, right? We want this one to be background for these 4 icons. So you need to just locate, you know, drag your layers accordingly to get the best look. So, and also we don't want this very black background. We want to make it transparent, so I can still see through this beautiful background, but still have that darker background for the icons. So I'm going to change the opacity. So if you just go ahead and make the opacity like around 60s, so you will have a better look. You could still have this nice blended view, and also still see the beautiful background here. Okay, so another thing, and actually the last thing, one more thing is using text tool. So the text tool, I would suggest, well, when you pick the text tool, you will see the properties will show up here. Before you draw the text box, I want you to go ahead and change the text size to 130. So that it could be easier for you to type, because it's going to be too small if you type, and then it's going to be harder to change the size later on. So I picked this font for this project, and it's actually bold. And then the text box, well, my text box just went there. I don't want that text box. I want to draw one over here. So my text box is here, and I want to type Italy. Italy. I guess my text, well, let's just change the text size. It's not 130, but make it, let's see, maybe 400. Okay, let's do 400. Yeah, I guess that will work. The pictures are like bigger than I thought, so. Okay, so if you want to change the color or the size again, you need to make sure that you pick the text tool and just make sure you just pick the same text tool. It's very easy to go ahead and draw another text tool. It's kind of confusing. Just you need to make sure that you highlight the text that you typed. If it is too hard, you can just delete from the layer panel and then go ahead and draw another text box. That's sometimes easier. So go ahead and let's say I still want to make it a little bit bigger. So you can always go ahead and hold down the key underneath this T sign and then move, and it's actually a better way to resize your pictures so the way you want. And also I want to change the color. So the color is black now, so maybe I can just go ahead and switch this color. This is background, this is the foreground color. So for text, I just made this white now. So I want to move this text with the move tool a little bit this side. All right, so I like this way. So, and one last thing we're gonna do is cropping this picture. The whole overall picture is great, but I don't want this side a little bit. I want to cut this part. But the cropping tool is, if you remember from last week, if you click on it, it's gonna create. I mean, not create, but these little brackets will appear on corners or sides of the picture so that you can resize. Let's just get rid of that part. Even I have a little bit part over here on top. So I like this view. Crop tool doesn't really cut the pictures. It actually creates a window that you can see through only that part. So I'm going to press enter to make the crop tool effective. Here's my, oh, I still have this little part. I want to crop that part too. I don't want to see that white area on top. So this is it. We create a beautiful flyer. I want you to go ahead and save this one. Oh, by the way, the golden rule is save often. Don't do like me over here. When you start the new file, save right away as a PSD document. So if you just go ahead and press File, Save, so it's gonna, you know, when the first time it's gonna ask you the name, and this is gonna be a PSD file, which you can always open and edit the layers and everything in Photoshop. So I want you to make this one, just name it as Italy, and then save this. As you see, format is Photoshop, so that you can come back and edit anytime. So, and the next save as is for me. Make it JPEG format. Here's the JPEG format. You can keep the same name, it doesn't matter, and save it. And then I already have one, so it's going to be replacing for me. And then press OK. So that JPEG file is the one that I want you to submit to Google Classroom. So once you're done with this and save it as JPEG and submit to the Google Classroom, I want you to go ahead and create your own flyer for the country of your choice. As I said, you can use the same style, but you don't have to do exactly the same. I want you to have the same assets, like pictures, like 5 pictures, and a background tool, like a it could be a circle for you, for example. It could be a rounded rectangle, whatever you want to use. And for text, any kind of text tool. You can use any size, any color, or any font. So be creative, and let's see. I hope you're going to enjoy. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I'll be here. I'll walk in around.